booties for black girl nerds.
Hey, how you doing?
Nice to see you guys again. Last time I talked to y'all was at a Comic-Con before I got to see the movie. Now that I'm excited. Now that I've seen it, I got a lot more questions. So, Brian, I'll start with you. You absolutely killed it as Megatron. I was shook the entire third leg of the film. Your character starts off with a real optimistic tone and then goes into like straight savage mode. So I was wondering, where do you go in your creative mindset to draw out a fun, lovable voice and then switch over to like a no-nonsense tone?
I just wanted to imbue him with a lot of who I am, at the beginning. Like, this is the first time that I've done an animated series where I actually got to a series or a movie where I get to sound like myself. I really wanted him to kind of like have kind of some of the flavors of who I am, questioning his choices, being silly, you get to see this side of Megatron where he's just, a regular, guy, with a job, just trying to keep his head down and like, be the best, but at the same time, not ruffle any feathers. And so I think about me when I was like 20 years old in college and like how I was questioning the system all the time and how I wanted to find out who I am as an individual. So I just kind of poured that into the younger Megatron because it felt like me. It felt like the kind of guy that I was to ultimately turn out the way he did, because I feel like the rebellion in me came out much later, and I was like, well, none of this makes sense. This is all a lie. Like just flipping tables everywhere. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to do a send up and a call back to my younger self on this one. So yeah, that's where I tried to anchor him.
I appreciate that response. Chris, kudos for keeping Optimus Prime legacy going, especially for this new generation. The whole time we're watching your character on screen, we're wondering when you're going to deliver like that inspirational speech that we're used to. What was it like when you stepped into the booth and actually got to get to that part of the scene or to the film?
Yeah, it was really satisfying, exciting, also very nerve-wracking. The whole process. And I was thankful that we had recorded most of the film before I had that iconic speech, which vocally lent itself more into the Peter Cullen, the original direction. The rest of the film, it's a youthful, playful version of the character, but before he becomes Optimus Prime. And that was great. I loved the fact there was some spontaneity and a sense of humor and a sense of adventure with the character. There was a bit of a brash cockiness to him that we haven't seen before. And I was able to sort of, with the cadence of the voice, hit little moments throughout, but we had to keep making sure it wasn't too early. I'd done a speech midway through the film, a little bit more in the iconic sort of sounding zone, and Josh Cooley, our director, was like, "I think it's too early. He's not Optimus yet." And so we save it for the very end, and it was nice to have finished it and kind of feel like it landed in the right zone.
I don't want you to think that he left that speech voice in the booth, though, because we can't get him to turn it off over here. Like, even when he's taking a lunch order.
I was listening to the film last night, and I was like, I wish I always sounded like that. I am Optimus Prime.
It's so good, man.
It just is quite difficult to force my voice into that tone.
I don't know, man. It's iconic.
That's awesome. Well, last question. I wouldn't be doing my job for the Transformer nerds and nerds in general if I didn't ask you, Chris and Brian, I know you want to know too. Why is Thor crying?
I'm asking the same question. I don't know.
You were sobbing.
You'll have to keep your focus on the Marvel universe, because there will be an answer. It will be told one day.
I wonder if I'm connected to that answer. We don't see we don't see.
Yeah.
What if it's me?
No, you do. It was Deadpool.
Oh, was it Deadpool?
Yeah.
But maybe it was me as Deadpool. Remember?
There you go. You had a mask on.
There you go.
There you go.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I love this film. I had to see it by myself, obviously screening it as press, but I'm going with other friends because it was just that awesome. You guys killed it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
What you guys do next?
Hi, Chalice.
Haven't seen you since Comic-Con, whole nother level.
I know. It's a whole nama la ho. So.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me today. I very much appreciate it. Now that I've seen the movie, we got some other stuff to talk about. First and foremost, I'd like to start by saying you killed it as Bumblebee. Like, for a character that we're not used to hearing speak, you actually not only gave him a voice, but a personality. So I want to know, when you got the script, was it written for Bumblebee to be funny, or is this just you in Transformer form?
No. It was definitely written for Bumblebee to be funny. And I also, in the back of my mind, what I wanted to do was I wanted to vocally be able to match somehow the physicality of the Bumblebee that we've gotten to know in the Michael Bay movies, and the dynamic, the dynamic radio voice, how the radio plays the words for him and for the voice. So I'm like, what can we do that can be that dynamic? But then when I read the script, I went, oh, there's jokes in this script. I just have to execute these jokes to the best of my ability and enhance them in any way I can, and interpret them in an interesting enough way that everybody will be entertained.
And you excelled at that very much. And speaking of jokes that you executed, there's one in particular that's a reference to your famous substitute teacher skit. So I want to know, if I were in your class, right, how would you pronounce my name?
That name? That's Chalice.
Chalice.
Chalice. Where is Chalice? Is Chalice in here? Okay, I'm going to mark you absent, Chalice. Or I might call you Chalice.
I get that all the time.
Chalice.
All the time.
People see because it's spelled, yes, yeah. But Chalice is better. I like Chalice more.
So as we saw this Sunday, you are a massive Lions fan, right?
That's right, my friend.
And if Optimus Prime, right, if Chris is Optimus Prime and Brian's was Megatron, were two NFL rivals, what teams would you say that they would be?
Oh, I think that Brian would be the Baltimore Ravens. I think Brian would be the Baltimore Ravens. And this is going to sound interesting, but for some reason, Chris would be the Dallas Cowboys. Because it's just like, if Chris wasn't from Australia, he'd be from Texas. Now, he'd be the best looking person ever from Texas, but he gives off like Australians kind of give off this kind of rugged Marlboro man cowboy, energy. So he would be the Cowboys.
You know what? I don't like the Cowboys. I'm from Houston. I'm a Bengals fan.
Hey, listen, you're a Bengals fan?
Yeah.
You don't like the Texans? You got C.J. Stroud.
They got C.J. Stroud. I got Joe Burrow.
Oh my God! Look at this girl. The Houston girl loves the Ohio team. I'm trying to absorb that.
I just went to the game this past weekend, but sorry, back to the movie. My last question. My bad. We're friends now. Last question. So obviously as a kid, we've all wanted to transform, right, into a car, whatever. So when you were a kid, or now as an adult, no judgment, what would you want to have transformed into?
I would transform into a boat, because that way, if I need a little respite, I can get away from the other Transformers. See, they can't drive into the water. I can just jump into the water, turn into a boat, and I'm off. Take a little break, hit a sandbar, just float a little bit, take it easy. You know what I mean? Get nice vistas, the whole 9 yards.
I love it. That's a good one. I would have thought someone said a vet or a Tesla or something, but thank you so much. I really enjoyed this movie. I went to go see it by myself. I'm going to go again with friends, but I absolutely loved it. You killed it. I mean, clearly I love Wonka too. So you've been doing great in your career. Thank you so much for your time, and I very much appreciate it.
All right, Chalice.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.